My gut says 7-10. There's a part of me that wants to go 8, 9, 9, and 8, but I'm gonna go 7-10.
Above 500? You have this team going above
It's
500.
better than what you.
There
I
is
think it's better than what you
no
think.
way.
I think they need one more piece on that offensive side.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Beard Zone Sports Talk. My name is David. I got Carlos with me tonight, and tonight we are going to be covering the NFC West. It is our second week in our way too early predictions here, so we are going to be going through the four teams over there in the West for the NFC. But before we get into all of that, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. You know the drill. Carlos, the NFC West was... I mean, it was pretty interesting last year. There was definitely some, surprise teams. I think the Rams, out of everyone, was it the Rams that was the most surprising team, or was it the 49ers who were? Because the 49ers did not do very well last year.
That is a great question. What is the more surprising? Man, I don't know. My head says 49ers, but the Rams really. I'm going to say 49ers. I had them pretty high on my list going into the season.
I did too. I think last year in our early prediction series, I think I had the 49ers actually winning the division. I mean, what are you going to do? They're coming off of a Super Bowl win, but it just didn't pan out. The Madden curse got Christian McCaffrey. Will it get Saquon this year? Only time will tell. But let's dive right into it. I want to talk about the 49ers actually, because they did. They had a hard time last year. But I mean, they lost Debo over the offseason. Not really too sure how much that's going to. If anything, that might just make their locker room less toxic. So
yeah.
I don't know how much he'll actually be missed in 49ers. They somehow keep Brandon Ayuk. They obviously have George Kittle. They just secured Brock Purdy to a long-term deal. Congrats to Brock on getting the deal. Christian McCaffrey should be healthy. They go out and they sign Bryce Huff, or they trade for Bryce Huff. I'm not sure. I mean, Bryce Huff, 2023 Bryce Huff was fantastic. He had 10 sacks, got a lot of quarterback pressures. Last year didn't produce as much with Philadelphia. So we'll see if he can help to that edge rush with Bosa on the other side. But here's the thing, Carlos. They have the easiest schedule in the NFL this year. The easiest schedule in the NFL. If you look
I feel like that's not right. Like, I don't know how it is, but it's like based off last year, but teams got better. So we'll see if that really is the easiest schedule. But it's beneficial right now for them.
It is beneficial for them right now. I actually have them winning the division this year. I do. I have them going 12-5, maybe 13-4. I think that they're going to have a huge bounce back year. Their schedule is just so favorable, man.
They could. I mean, they lose some big pieces. They lose Greenlaw, which I think is huge. They lose Hufanga.
I forgot about the defensive side.
He's gone. They lose Aaron Banks at guard. Gervais Ward at corner was good. And then they lose, like you said, Debo. Debo goes to Washington. I don't know. I really don't think the Debo loss is going to hurt them. I think it because Debo's that player you don't know really what to do with. Like, he's good when you're doing he's like, is he a H-back? Is he, you never know. I mean, he's not the traditional wide receiver. But, I mean, they did draft Williams out of Georgia. That should give him some pass rush. The kid gets off the ball very well. They still have Fred Warner in the middle, and they say Bosa. So that defense, but they get the man back. I think that fuels that fire in the defense, and that's Salea back running the show there. And I think that is enough to keep that defense really good on there. When he was that DC, man, that defense was nasty. They were fired up, ready to go.
Robert Saleh back in San Francisco. I don't think anyone is going to complain about that, because that defense was one to reckon with. Now, you did mention a lot of pieces, though, that did leave on the defensive side of the ball, which I honestly forgot about. I was thinking more Kyle Shanahan. I was thinking a lot of offense. But they did, man. I mean, Greenlaw is a big loss. Hufunga is a big loss. Ward's a big – I mean, they have some serious losses there I know that they went out and they tried to draft young, to kind of revitalize it a little bit, get some youth on that defense. You still have Fred Warner, who can definitely lead a locker room and definitely has still a lot of juice in the tank. Man, solid though, coming back. Oh yeah, then I'm definitely confident in my pick with like 13-4 and winning the division at that point.
I think the offense is still pretty good. I do have a few question marks with the O-line. Trent Williams, Hall of Famer, is getting a little bit older, and last year he suffered an injury, but it's still Trent Williams, and he's still on the top 5 guy. Like you mentioned, they got Kittle, McCaffrey, Ayuk. I think that's their who they need to bounce back is Ayuk. Ayuk was always having those quiet 1,100-yard seasons, 7-8 touchdowns. You just never heard a lot about him. But I like Juwan Jennings. He's a guy when Ayuk was down, Debo was out, he always stepped up. And we're going to see what Ricky Pearsall does. We'll see if he's actually that guy. He had some good flashes last year. I'm not a fan of Florida Gator wide receivers. I can't name a good one in the last 40 years, so I don't know. But maybe he breaks the streak of crappy wide receivers coming out of Florida. So
I think Pearsall will be a good number 2 on the outside, and then having Jennings in the slot, I think that would be really good. I think Jennings in the slot definitely produces a lot more than he could on the outside. Ayuk obviously is the number 1. Let's not forget though, man, they still have Kittle. Christian McCaffrey is a threat in the pass game.
yeah.
And Brock Purdy, dude, Mr. Irrelevant, man, get in the bag, and he's a good quarterback. Definitely is a guy there. So we'll see.
You think the big contract? You think it maybe hurts him? Sometimes those guys get paid, and all of a sudden they're not working a little as much in the off season. Like
I don't think so.
He doesn't seem like that guy, but
no,
you never know.
I don't think so, and I only say that because he has Kyle Shanahan still. Shanahan, it's kind of hard not to look at what he did to Sam Darnold for just having him in his offense for a year. But Kyle Shanahan with Sam Darnold, with these quarterbacks, Matt Ryan, if he has a good history with these quarterbacks. So Brock Purdy did the right thing in sticking with San Francisco. Let's go to their, I would say their closest rivals with the Los Angeles Rams. Still got the gunslinger, Sam Darnold. I just was talking about him. Bradford.
Poor Matthew Stafford.
Yeah. Matthew Stafford. But Matthew Stafford is still there. Absolute gunslinger of a quarterback. You also added Devontae Adams there, at wide receiver. They did lose Cooper Kupp, which went to their other rivals with Seattle. It's going to be weird seeing Cooper Kupp in a Seattle uniform. Definitely a strange one of those, what am I looking at kind of deals. But you still got Puka. You still, and I think Higbee is back now. So he's going to be healthy. You have a good solid running game. Defense is pretty productive. I do like I liked what their rookies did on the defensive side of the ball. Someone that I'm kind of looking at, though? You have Devontae Adams. You have Puka. There's a guy there that is in his contract year, and he gets overlooked a lot, and I understand that because he's only shown flashes. But this Tutu Atwell, he might actually be pretty good this year.
I knew you just wanted to say Tutu. That's it.
Yes, my immaturity couldn't get past saying his name. But, overall, I think that they have a pretty balanced. They do have a pretty tough schedule. I know that we based off of last year, but last year in their schedule this year, they do have a lot of playoff teams in that schedule. So, could be harder. I had them going about 9-8, 10-7, right around there, right in the middle of the pack. I definitely think that they are a playoff contending team. And Matthew Stafford, man, it's hard to root or bet against him.
Yeah. Our Canadian guy is not going to like that at all, that you just said they're going to go 9-8. He is not going to like that at all. I differ a little bit here when it comes to a record. I think this is the division winner. I think they're going to – I don't see anybody in my head doesn't say there's like a 12-5 team here. I think there's 11-6 is probably going to win this division. I think the Seahawks are going to be pesky, and the Cardinals will be pesky. But I mean, the only question marks I have is the second. Anytime you come into your second year, does Verse, Fisk, Cam Kitchens do they get better? Theoretically, they should get better because they're in their second year. They get a whole off season and training. My hope is that I'm not a Rams fan, but I'm a huge Matthew Stafford fan, is that loss to Philly is just fueled the off season for them. I would love to see Matthew Stafford in a Super Bowl against the Dolphins and lose. That'd be awesome. But I like the team, man. I think the youngness of on the offside with Puka hopefully fuels Adams some. I feel like that team's got that nice young vibe. They got McVay, who's the guy even 38 yet. I mean, he's not that old. So I'm thinking Adam. We see a kind of what we saw a few years ago from him. So I like this team. They got really good towards the end of the year and had a hell of a battle on Philly. And we're going to see them week 3. Week 3, them and Philly again. And that's going to be that's definitely one of those circle the dates right there. That is going to be a hell of a game. And it's going to show where the Rams are at. And, was last year kind of a fluke? Or are they contenders? Like that's a game they need to win because they start off with Houston, which will be a tough game, but I think winnable. And then Tennessee, which I think they can win. And then they got Philly. So they've got they can get some momentum going into that game. And then they got Indy behind it. So they could put a lot of attention on Philly right off the bat. I mean, sorry, Indy fans, but, it's Indy.
I mean, honestly, and no offense to Tennessee fans either.
No, it's not. Tennessee's not there. There's a reason why they were the number 1 pick in the draft. They've got a lot of holes. I think they're going to be competitive. I don't think it's a team you can sleep on, but I think it's a team that's going to look real good one week and then like what the WTF in it the next week. So,
yeah.
But I like the Rams a lot. I like that they got that vigor that, man, you just look at them, you see, you know what I've been waiting for all offseason? And I thought I saw it because we get those notifications. There was an Aaron Donald one that popped up. I'm waiting for that guy to come out of retirement. I really thought he would come out and just the bug would bite him, and he would be like, you know what? I can do it for one more year. And can you imagine putting that guy back out there? He still got juice. He left.
With Verse and Fisk, that would be nasty, dude.
He left.
That would be so nasty.
He Barry Sanders us. There's still juice in that body. He's got game still left. And
for sure.
Oh my God.
I don't think he is going to come back though. I think he's the type of guy who once he decides something, that's going to be it. I don't see him coming back and forth. Something that I did kind of overlook here. This defense, man, is pretty young. They got a lot of juice, and they've drafted and they've kind of built this defense kind of silently. If you're really not paying attention to it. So Sean McVay, you can never. The guy's had nothing but success since he's been in Los Angeles.
They got a great running back too. Kyron Williams is a hell of a running back. And
they did get Blake Corum. So I don't know how well. We'll see how he does. But Kyron Williams. But again, it's going to come down to, and this is the thing that we say in every offseason, I feel like, with the Rams. Will they get bit by the injury bug?
Yeah.
Because if they don't, they're contenders, and they showed that last year. Because I think people forget how close they were to upsetting Philly last year in Philadelphia. In a snow game, too. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. I think the only reason why I don't have them winning the division is simply because I think that the 49ers seriously have the easiest schedule. Looking at this schedule, man, it is so easy. There really isn't a whole lot of, pushback I feel like that they're going to get. But let's move on to the third team with the Seattle Seahawks. This team last year, lived up to about, I feel like, everyone's expectations. I don't think that they, overachieved or underachieved by any
Yeah.
means. They went out and they did draft pretty smartly this year. Something that I am looking at, though, is I'm looking to see if they're going to pull off this Trey Hendrickson, because they have been rumored to get him. And if they do, that does something to that defense for sure. So, but they have Sam Darnold now there at quarterback. So that's going to be interesting with the departure of Geno Smith over this last offseason to go and team back up with Pete Carroll in Las Vegas with the Raiders. They lost Tyler Lockett. They lost DK Metcalf. They still have JSN there. He's a great wide receiver, but he's also been surrounded by great talent as well. So I'm curious to see what he's going to do as a true number one. Offensive line is always going to be is still a question with this team, in my opinion. They have a great running game, though. They have a young defense. They have a defensive-minded, coach. So this team can be pesky. I think you said that earlier, but I don't see them competing with the top two teams. I have them going either 7-10 or 8-9. I have them being third in that division this year.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat with you. I think they're that close to that 500 team. I actually think JSN or Cup is going to have a really good year. One is going to take pressure off the other. You would think it would be Cup that would benefit from JSN just because JSN's a young guy, a little bit more explosive at this stage in their careers.
Yeah.
And they got Scatling, who's their deep threat. It's weird. Like, you had this monster that should not run like he runs, and DK Metcalf, and now you've literally taken two wide receivers to replace Metcalf and Marvis Scatlin and then Cooper Kupp. So my only worry on their offense, one is Sam Darnold. I haven't bought fully
Are you
into
talking
him.
about Marquise?
Yeah. Marquise
Okay.
MVS.
MVS,
So,
yeah.
Yeah, he'll give him that deep threat. He's got blazing speed, but I'm not sold on Sam Darnold. They get Zabel in the draft. I think it was a great pick for them. I actually thought they had a pretty decent draft. And then they get Leonard Williams. They draft Nick Imawari for safety. I don't even know if that kid's going to start. They're actually got a pretty decent safety tandem. And they get DeMarcus Lawrence, the old cowboy, but that's an extreme veteran there. I think that's more for that. I don't know how much he's not the guy he was a few years ago for Dallas on there.
No.
So I'm not bought into Sam Darnold. I can't. I don't know. Hopefully, if he proves me wrong, great. On there, like you said, the defense is young. They've got some work to do still, but this will be a pesky team. I got them I think 8-9 is respectable for them. I think if they overachieve, they're 10-6. My worry is that can they stay healthy at running back? They're why is he Walker? He gets hurt every year, and Cabaret isn't Walker by any means. He's a good replacement, but I don't like it. And they got the guy's got to stay healthy for them to be able to compete week in and week out. Like, you can't afford to have an ankle, a toe, whatever he's got that keeps him out 4 to 5 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. This is a division where I feel like it's always kind of split. I never feel like that this is a division that stays super competitive. I feel like that towards the end of the year, there's always a team that kind of emerges as like the top. And it used to always be the Rams and the 49ers. It would just kind of go back and forth. Seattle also was kind of in the mix there in their, Russell Wilson, Pete Carroll days, some of the earlier days especially. But this division is just so like two-sided, I guess you can say. It's not one-sided. It's two-sided. And the Seattle Seahawks, I feel like, are always that team. They've always been that team that has never really been like super bad for, quite a while. But they've only had 1 or 2 years where they've really kind of like, kind of catapulted forward. So
yeah, once Pete Carroll got there, they were like, he turned that team around. So But you're
Yeah.
right. They're never like, oh man, that team sucks. I never really see them drafting in the top 10 very often.
No.
So they're just that. Man, that sucks.
Middle of the
Sucks.
pack.
It sucks being a fan base and being a Dolphins fan that you go 500 every year. It's like, really? Why do we even play? Why
Yeah.
I celebrated half of the year and cried the other half? Like, why are we doing this?
Yeah. I am really curious to see how Sam Darnold pans out. He was under we talked about it. He was under Kyle Shanahan. Then he was under Kevin O'Connell.
Yeah.
And now he's under Mike McDaniel. Or I'm sorry, Mike McDonald. And he's a defensive guy. He was a defensive coordinator with the Ravens. Sam Darnold went 15-2 last year. Or no, was it 14-3? 15-2 was the Lions. They were both battling for like the top seed. Wild. It was wild that we had, it was either you were going to be the first seed if you won that game in the NFC, or you were going to be like wild card.
Yeah.
Like there was just no. So that makes me come to this question, Carlos. Should we revamp the standings?
Yes.
Should we keep it? Should we have it to where it's going to be just the top 7 teams with the first seed having the bye week, and then it's the top 7 no matter what division you're in? We just keep it separated by the conference, so your record is the final say.
Yeah, I like that. I don't like. There was one year we had a conference winner get in, and they were under 500. Like that makes no sense. I like top teams that get in. That's what the fans want to see. That's what we want to see. We want to see the best going against the best. And I like that. Like, hey, 7 in, top 2 get their buys, and then everybody else plays it out. I'm not a fan. Hey, great, you won your division. But I mean, technically, if you're winning the division, you should be in that top 7. But there's sometimes it doesn't happen that way. So I'm a fan of. I think a little bit of restructure there wouldn't hurt. Do I think it's going to happen? Who knows?
You never know. That would be really interesting. I'm actually pulling this up really quick.
Wouldn't that be crazy? You won your division, you didn't make the playoffs. That would suck. Hey, won the division at 9-8. You're not going to the playoffs.
It really would. I'm trying to find the standings. It's all broken down though into there we go. Here we go. Conference. Okay, so we excuse me. So if the rule was last year, this would be the playoffs. First seed in the AFC. We'll go there. First seed, Kansas City Chiefs. Then we would have Buffalo Bills, Baltimore Ravens, Houston Texans, Los Angeles Chargers, Pittsburgh Steelers, Denver Broncos. Not bad.
No.
Not bad. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure all those teams made the playoffs anyway. So it doesn't seem like it matters.
I mean, there's been a couple. Remember when the NFC East was terrible? Like Cowboys weren't really that good. The Giants were the Giants. Eagles were not playing real well, and the Commanders were trying to figure out a new name when they got rid of Redskins. And it was rough. It was a rough division.
I mean, it was, but I mean, but all the teams that I just listed were already in the playoffs, so it doesn't make a difference. It's just okay. So I guess the argument is that you don't get home field advantage.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So you don't get home field advantage, but at the end of the day, it seems like it doesn't matter. Now I do know because I remember wasn't that when the Giants ended up going like all the way to the Super Bowl and beating the Patriots that year? They were like 9-7 or something crazy like that. We were like, how did they even make it here? But look at what can happen, Carlos.
You get Eli Manning, the goat killer.
Goat killer right there. Goliath Slayer. Yeah. I don't know. I would like to see it by the standings because there are definitely some times, that it can get kind of squirrely there. You know,
I'm a big fan of doing it. If you have orange in your uniform, you go.
I'm good with that too. I'm good with that too. You know what? New rule. Any team with orange in it. But now let's think about this, Carlos. That's the Browns. that's that's what other teams are there? We had the Browns, we have the
You
Bucks, we
got
have
Bucks,
Miami.
Dolphins. All right, we'll give 2 colors. You get orange and
Oh wait, and the Bengals.
Bengals. Yeah,
Yeah, there
man.
you go.
You imagine how bad they're going to
Oh,
suck
and
if
the
they lose.
Broncos because they have the orange with the on their name.
Yeah, I don't want to see them in the playoffs. That defense is
Dude, the Broncos.
scary.
I'm excited to talk about the AFC West.
Yeah,
because that's going to be a fun division.
yeah.
That's going to be a really fun division. Anyway, let us know down there in the comment section. What do you guys think? You think it should go by division winners and then, the remaining, or do you think the seeding should go by your record overall, regardless of if you won your division or not? So, but let's move on to the final team who isn't going to be winning their division, and that's the Arizona Cardinals. And the Arizona Cardinals, man, I'm just not a big believer in Kyle Murray.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know why he got paid. They got, they got a young receiver. I feel like they're wasting a couple of players' careers with James Conner and the tight end. Who's the tight end's name?
McBride.
I'll edit this. Who?
Trey McBride.
Yeah, they're, and the tight end Trip McBride there. So, but dude, Kyle Murray, if Kyle Murray is your quarterback, I ain't picking you. I have them going, ready? This is gonna be is gonna be the pick, Carlos. This is gonna be the one where I'll probably eat my words at the end of it. But I have the Arizona Cardinals. Are you ready?
I'm not, but go ahead.
I know you're not. They're going 4-13, man. I do not see them winning a whole lot of games. Don't really like the strength of their schedule either. They got a pretty tough schedule coming up. And I really am not a believer in Kyle Murray. I just don't like him. I don't know why they got paid. And I don't like their head coach either to go along with it. I mean, the guy is he has
anything you do
energy as Nick Sirianni, but he just sucks.
Damn, you got me there. That's a tough one. 4-13. I do like what they did in the draft. They addressed some major needs with Walter Nolan. I thought that was a good pickup for them. They may have a huge steal in the draft with Will Johnson ending up there, and they get Jordan Burch, who is another good player that they get in the draft. So I thought they drafted very well. I just don't know. You're right. It's Kyle Murray. But if you're a short person out there in this world, he gives you hope that one day you can be an NFL quarterback. So I don't like it. Here's my problem. There's some free agent wide receivers out there still. They have to go get one. Zay Jones, I'm not buying into that. Marvin Harrison, for me, was a little disappointing, but he didn't have Kyle Murray the whole year, so he didn't have a bad. I think he's a good wide receiver. He's going to be good. And Michael Wilson, they have to go get a Keenan Allen. Got to go get somebody to pair up with this guy and give Kyle Murray, like you say, James Conner's a productive back that gets no love. Like, it's just James Conner. Everybody who drafts him in their fantasy draft, you play him every week. The guy puts up 16, 17 points, and you're like, what the heck? Offensive line's a little bit better, but they got McBride. They got a great tight end there. Like you say, the defense has gotten a little bit better. They bring back might be the oldest player in Calais Campbell back to play defensive end there. The guy might be entering his 19th season, something crazy. But he's a Hurricane, so I hope he has a great year. And they get Josh Sweat. They get him from Philly, so that defense with Walter Nolan, Josh Sweat, if Will Johnson stays healthy. They get Akeem Gaither from Cincy, which it's better than what they had. I mean, you're getting a player from Cincinnati. Let's hope he does better in this system than he did in that system, because boy, they gave up a lot of points. So I mean, there's some good stuff there. I feel like they upgraded in the defense they needed to. I don't have them going 4-13. I'm
they're
very
going 5-12.
No, I have this. This is one of the hardest teams for me to judge right now. My gut says 7-10. There's a part of me that wants to go 8, 9, 9, and 8, but I'm gonna go 7-10.
Above 500. You have this team going above 500.
It's better than what
there is.
I think it's
no
better than what you think.
way.
I think they need one more piece on that offensive side, and I personally would go get Keenan Allen. I like Keenan Allen. He's a great safety net. They had that with Larry Fitzgerald for a while. If you need a catch, Keenan Allen can still do it. He's not going to blaze. Heck, you still got is Mark Cooper still one of the guys, I think, that's still
He's
out
still
there?
out there, yeah.
Go get him. They need another wide receiver. They just need something. I'm just not a fan of Marvin Wilson. I think Wilson's not good. He's not the guy. And Zay Jones is. I'm just not. I just don't think that's going to be their two guys.
I don't know, man. I don't trust a franchise that allows another team to get their franchise quarterback and franchise defensive player in the same draft back to back. I just don't trust the franchise that does that.
I'm gonna be a little bit more optimistic. I'll go 7-10. I'm gonna stick with that. I think they got some very winnable games. Kyle Murray stays healthy, and then their defensive upgrades I think is better. They're getting there, but
have we looked for a new Call of Duty update?
There was a huge one that just came out, but they're
last year.
Always,
and gosh dang, they were good last year up until that point.
Why don't they just put in this guy's contract that you can't own a PlayStation, a PC for gaming, and an Xbox, man? Just stop. Hey, once you get over 5'7", you can own all that, because it's not going to happen. The guy is so freaking short; it's crazy. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't think they're that bad. I kind of put them in that Dolphins range. I don't know how good they're actually going to be, but we're going to figure out. There should be some stuff starting to happen here with free agency. Those free agents that are still out there. We're hitting that June 1st mark, so we should start seeing some some action.
Well, I'll help you out really quick, Carlos. They're going to suck. So there's the there's your answer for you.
I didn't say they were going to the playoffs, but 4-13 was a little much for me.
You said at 1.9-8.
If they go out and get another piece, they need another piece.
They can go. I don't know what quarterbacks are still available, Carlos. I don't know what you're talking about.
They have a great backup quarterback in Jacoby Brissett. That guy,
dude. Oh my God! What about left field? They get Aaron Rodgers. They just. Oh man, that would be wild.
All right. They have the
that
king
has the same energy as Emmitt Smith to the Cardinals.
Yeah,
so I don't like it. Well, anyway, let us know down there in the comments how wrong we are. We love to hear it every week, so we appreciate you guys. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button to follow us along on this way too early predictions. We love doing this. It's a good old time. Follow us on all of the social medias. You know what they are, and if you don't, I don't know what to tell you. But they will be down there in the link description. Go ahead and download that and get sucked into the waves of the internet like we all love to do, even when we're supposed to be working and being productive adults in a society. But we live and learn. Carlos, it's always been fun. It's always a pleasure. We're here every Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So until next Friday, we will see you guys later.